Good morning, good evening, everyone. It's Kirsten here. Just waiting for a few more people to get on. I'm thinking that the webinar is a bit like a train at peak hour. Everyone's squeezing to get on. So while we're waiting, why don't you just pop where you're from in the chat so I can say hi. I can see Caitlin's on, Leander, Megan, Renee. Just so you know, if you want to get rid of that control panel that's on the right-hand side of your screen, there's a little orange arrow at the top, just near the audio, the word that says audio. Just click on that. You can get rid of that so you can see the whole presentation. I think we might just get started. Those other people that are joining us can join us in a minute. So welcome to Grow Your Product-Based Business Fast. You're with Kirsten Basford, and I'm just going to run through a little bit of housekeeping before we get stuck into it. So the session today will go for around 1 hour, give or take. I do tend to talk a little bit. And we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So I have my wing woman here. She's going to monitor the chat as we go. So I really appreciate if you've got any questions that you pop them in the chat bar in that control panel for me. And I may use Australianisms as I am Australian, and I do know that we've got people from all around the world that are on this webinar today. So just bear with me, and if you don't understand what something means, just pop that in the chat because my wing woman, she's an Aussie too. Hopefully I won't swear, can't promise. Sometimes I do drop a few little words, but I don't think I will today, but anyway. And I do write in Queen's English, so you'll see some random U's and some random S's where the Z's are supposed to be, so please excuse me for that. All right, and I also think that you should pop down Facebook or mail or anything that's going to annoy you with a ding throughout the webinar. So we can just focus on what we're doing and get stuck in. So here we go. There is a better way to make a huge impact on and offline, and it doesn't cost a cent. So you're in the right place today if you're a creative and inspired product-based entrepreneur. Your marketing has stagnated and you're struggling to be heard. Your business has hit a plateau and you really need to shake things up. The competition and copycats seem to be everywhere. This is a really big problem for a lot of product-based business owners. Another one is it's halfway through the year and you may have lost a bit of love for your business and your confidence and your mojo is just a little low. And you really want to make the second half of this year your best sales results yet. So here's what we're going to cover. The 3 key elements of amplifying your business and how this formula will help you stand out in a very tight and over-marketed world. We're going to nail each element of that formula so that you start to differentiate and attract more customers and more sales with little to no cost. We're also going to cover the common mistakes and myths that lead to a brand bland and how you can achieve more clarity around broader business decisions. And what we're really wanting to do is bring the control back home. So in short, we're going to see how to make the competition irrelevant and what to do when copycats invade, how to attract raving fans that become your brand army and increase your sales, and how smaller businesses can actually win the brand war. I do want to let you know, however, because a lot of webinars have this, I've got nothing for sale. Today I'm not selling anything. And I also want to share with you a special bonus template for you at the end. So I've got the webinar on record, so I'll also be sending you the recording of the webinar should it all go to plan and the technology gods are in my favor. So does this sound like you? Are you spending money on time on marketing and it's not yielding the return that you're expecting? Are you really unsure where to start with marketing your business? Are you overwhelmed by the noise around marketing? Or the social media, advertising, everything that's going on, and you need some guided direction? And are you being drowned out by the competition and you're really battling just to be seen by potential customers? And the big one, how consistent is your cash flow? And marketing can sometimes seem like a constant and tiring game of chicken and egg. So are you worried that you may never really have the business that you dreamed of despite working your butt off? The real problem that your marketing has become predictable or worse, non-existent, and you don't know what to do next. So when you address the real problem, the myriad of other problems, they just seem to disappear. So I want to let you know today that it is possible. So gaining and connecting with new customers will flow easily. You won't need to go on sale, discount your products just to create attention to your brand. And you certainly won't be paralyzed about where to start. You'll end up rising above the noise and actually start to enjoy marketing. I tell you what, that's my favorite thing. When people start to enjoy marketing, then they actually fall back in love with their business. And you will have a systemized process that you can follow, which will help you reclaim your precious, precious creative time. And as product-based entrepreneurs, you're generally creative, and that's why you went into business in the first place. So you can get that time back to be creative and it won't impact your sales. So you can really attract raving fans to your business, increase your sales, and have the business and the life that you deserve. So on this session today, it's going to be in two parts. The first, we're going to get a look behind the scenes at some of my client success stories. So I really want to show you, what I do in action. And then the second part is how to recognize, develop, and implement a new approach to your business that will authentically attract the right customers to your business time and time again. And when you get this, you're going to have an authentic brand that stands out in a crowded market. You'll have a steady stream of new customers and a tribe of existing customers just waiting for your next product release. You'll have a renewed energy and focus on your business. You will be in that zone, and everyone knows how that feels. You have an opportunity to 10 times your sales and create a leadership position online and within your industry. And the best one, when you get this, it's just no more spray and pray. So no more just throwing stuff and seeing if it sticks in both marketing and your product launches, which, sees you throwing money and your time away. The best part is you get more client, you get more confidence, and you get more clarity. So a little bit about me. I just wanted to share with you my story. So here I am. And I've been a dedicated marketing purist. Since I left school, really, I went straight into uni and did marketing, and that's all I've ever done. So I'm a bit of a marketing and consumer behaviour nerd. I've been employed by some of the largest brand names in the world. So Starbucks Coffee, 20th Century Home Entertainment, Sony Music, Wella, Gillette Skincare. So a lot of really big names. And then I went out on my own and known as the next level business strategist. And now I've become a successful international product marketing expert. But it hasn't always been like this. In 2011, I became the poster girl for being made redundant. So that was a really, really tough time, not only for me personally, but also for, the world economy. We all sort of remember what it was like back in 2011. So yes, I ended up becoming the poster girl for corporate executive women that were losing their positions. So I really had to reinvent myself at that time. And what I did do was make a really distinct promise that I wouldn't put my career in the hands of others. I really wanted to take back the control and the driver's seat. But what mostly I wanted to do was to help those that needed me more than the big corporates and that valued all of my expertise and respected what I had to offer. And so that's what I did. And I started out on my own. And these are some of the brands that I was fortunate enough to have been working with over that time. So some really nice big brands here in Australia. And we did some really amazing things. And for me personally, it was a time where, my agency, we were billing around 100K a month. So, it was a really, really successful time. But what it also gave me the opportunity was to experiment with non-traditional marketing. And it posed a question for me. And it's a bit like a Carrie Bradshaw Sex in the City type question. Is it possible that we've actually reached the peak of traditional marketing and advertising in this time? We're all trying to outcompete each other and to claim a really small share of consumers' fleeting attention. And we're just trying too hard to create too much noise. So it was a time where you could question the status quo and make some real changes. And what I found in that time was there was a real common secret sauce to the success of the brands that I had. So there was little to no money spent on marketing. And if you see, recall some of those brands, they're not massive brands. These are small, independent, mainly women that were on their own doing some really great things, but their marketing budgets weren't anything like big corporates. What we did was we ditched all above the line advertising. So we didn't spend on magazines, radio, TV, print. We got really personal. We started to inject some real vibe about the owner of the business into the brand. And we went back to old school communication. So the old school became new school for us. And a real human connection. So tough in a digital age, but we really made that happen. We put in a lot of systems and strategies. So a lot of small business owners, what I was finding, did the spray and pray. Once we put the systems and strategies in place, then that attributed to this success. So let me talk about Becky. So here's a case study that I have with Becky. Becky is in Melbourne. She has a salon called Miss Velvet. It's a boutique. It's not a salon, it's a boutique. And when I met Becky, she was selling shoes, and that was all her salon was. But her clients were coming in and wanting a bit more than just her shoes, because Becky has a really great sense of style, but Becky has also a really great sense of community. Her business was barely breaking even, and what we discovered that her business wasn't a shoe store, it was actually a lifestyle store. And it was a place where people really wanted to connect and form relationships. So she's gone from having a shoe store to a thriving, homewares, fashion, lifestyle store. she still sells shoes, but she's also started a charity called Circle of Life, which is a photo here on the screen of her recent event. And she's really formed great connections. So her business has gone from strength to strength, and she's currently moving location because she's outgrown where she is. The second case study that I want to share with you is a bridal designer called Jennifer Regan. So we worked with Jennifer in 2012, and when we came to her, she was about to close her business. She had, very little equity left in the business, and her clients were few and far between. So what we ended up doing was implementing the formula that I'm going to share with you, and she now has international customers. So they come in, they fly in from Singapore and Hong Kong. She also now dresses red carpet celebrities, and the stylists are coming to her, and she's really well known. And the media are also asking for her to be in their magazines rather than her having to go out and beg and pitch. And the last one I want to share with you is Uberkate. Now, for our Australian clients, you may know this brand. It's a very well-known personalised jewellery brand here in Australia. She was a very successful, what we call accidental business owner. Kate went into business like most product creatives, just following her passion, and accidentally built a business. And she was turning over around 800K when I came and worked with Kate. So we implemented a lot of the strategies that I'm going to talk about, and in 1 year we went from 800 to 1.6 million, which is a really great success story. So what I want to share with you, what you'll never have to do again: throw money at ineffective advertising, discount your product just to get noticed, obsess about the competition, and that all-important spray and pray marketing. What you will be able to do is focus 100% on your beautiful, loyal, adoring customer base that can't wait to see what else you have to offer them. So let me ask you, is your brand awareness and sales at the level that you can live the life that you desire? Let's talk about the formula. It boils down to 3 key behaviors. But first I want to share with you, action is to do. Behavior is to be. It's a really important point that I want you to recognize. So the 3 key behaviors is that you need to be dynamic. Excuse me. You need to be different, and you certainly need to be daring. What's happened in the sort of marketing world is there's a lot of theorists out there. So much theory around. You're told you need to dig when you zag, and you need to read Purple Cow, and now we've got to do tribal marketing, and now it's relationship marketing. All of those things can be quite overwhelming, and the most important thing to know is theory tells you what you need to do. But as not only marketers ourselves, but also as consumers, we know one thing: that customer engagement comes about from the feeling and emotion that is created. An emotion is a reaction to a behavior. Therefore, in our business, we need to be. And what's really awesome is that as smaller, more nimble product-based business owners, this is right at our fingertips. So the formula works. Regardless of the business that you're in, you can apply this anti-marketing formula to your business straight away. And I'm going to share it with you on today's training. So an anti-approach isn't new. It's not new at all, actually. When the Beatles were taking over the world, there was a new band in town, and they were talented, incredible. They had all the raw ingredients that they needed to be a success. And their one question was, how can we compete with the Beatles? And this young publicist that they hired at the time said to them, you don't compete with the Beatles. You be the anti-Beatles. You be the Rolling Stones. So even though that anti-marketing isn't a new concept, I think that marketers today have forgotten the core elements, and especially product-based marketers in a very competitive world have become a little overwhelmed in what they need to do. So when you follow my system, it's going to give you more consistent sales. It's going to give you the opportunity to be a leading brand and be seen as an influencer in your industry and within your ideal customer base. It's going to give you more time and freedom. And why am I sharing this? Well, I've paid a lot of money for my education over the last 2 decades. And it's only useful if I can share it with others. And I want to just go back to that promise that I made myself and to people that I didn't even know yet, that I was going to be able to take my knowledge and spray it everywhere. There's also a very, very selfish reason that I'm sharing with this information today is I love shopping and I need independent, passionate and creative products to spend all of my money on. So I need people like you to have thriving businesses. So, cracking the code. Once you do crack the code, you will free yourself from overwhelm and you'll get more clarity and you'll start to make a bigger impact and more profits. So I want to dive in. Being dynamic. This means to be authentic, original, unique, quirky, innovative in your product marketing. And you need to continue to be you. I'm going to show you an example of one of my past clients. This lady here, you would imagine that she's a shoe designer. Very glamorous. She's very tall, about 6 foot tall, and she wears these incredible heels. But Melissa Brown is actually an accountant. So she's authentic. She's stylish. She loves shoes. And that's the end of it there. She loves shoes. And so she's being really true to who she is. She wrote a book, not so unique, about writing a book when you're an accountant, but she called that book More Money for Shoes. And she used analogies of the fashion world, including Spanx, to really bring home how to put money and business together. This is her in her shoe cupboard. This is where she filmed some videos. So she's being unique and quirky, really standing out. So what was the result of all of that? With Melissa being dynamic. Here she is on the Today Show. She's been on the Today Show several times talking about money issues. She's been featured in magazines that aren't your typical accountant type magazines. So you can see Cosmopolitan down there and the Collective magazine. And also she's a feature writer for the Sydney Morning Herald. So she does all their money writing now. So that was a result of her just being dynamic and being authentic and unique and a little bit quirky. The second step is to be different. So here we be different in our product, in our communication, the way we distribute our product, the way we inject some humor and emotion in there. And again, by being you. Here's another product example that I want to share with you. It's Mr. Moss. They do hanging plants, but let's get to the bottom of it. The granny fern. It's a granny fern made cool. But what she did She was unique in her communication. She told a story as to why she came about with this product. You know, they were living in apartments. They wanted to inject some greenery and some colour, and they were renting and they weren't allowed to have pots on the floor. Or so they developed a way that they could have hanging plants in an urban environment that also was really different. And she told her story, and her story has then been shared. But she was also different in her distribution. So as a really cool, young, urban type brand, you would expect her to be in the very cool lifestyle stores like the three on the left. But what she then did was approach Masters. Now, Masters is, you know, a huge warehouse type home improvement hardware store here in Australia, and they've picked her up, and so she is selling out because of the difference in her distribution approach. She thought differently. The next step is to be daring. Be disruptive. Stay in your lane. It's really courageous to stay in your own lane, but it's also courageous to take risks and also to be vulnerable. So again, this is all about being you. And I want to share with you about another brand here in Australia, and it's called The Collective magazine. It's actually called Renegade Collective. So Lisa Messenger is a friend of mine, and she started this business really just through pure passion. She had no experience in magazine publishing, and she's also started the business at a time when magazines were closing. You know, she really wanted to come in, and she believed in herself enough, and she wanted to disrupt the market. She wanted a magazine out there that she wanted to read, so she provided one. She takes risks. So the latest issue that she's put, you know, we all know that magazines, the sales of magazines are based on celebrity. This is a picture from an Instagram feed that she's put on here, because she believes that this magazine is about the people, and the people aren't celebrities. The people are you and me. Staying in a lane, you know, like I just said, the celebrity thing with magazine is huge. What she's done is actually made it about her fans, like her readers. And everything that she does is centered around them, not about the celebrities at all. So you can see here she shares behind the scenes, the workings of her team, which are a very small but mighty team. As you can see, that's the top right picture there. And the bottom right picture is just some people that have been to a reader event, and she features those people in her magazine and in her social media feed because it is about them. But she was also very vulnerable. She launched the magazine under the name Messenger Collective. Her surname is Messenger. And the top image there is the first issue. And you can see then it had to change to Renegade Collective. She got a cease and desist from another magazine that was far too similar, called The Messenger. But she shared that journey with us, and she was really vulnerable and said, yeah, I made a mistake. I didn't do my due diligence enough, and I didn't look into it enough. But this is what we're doing. And everyone was okay with that. You know, sharing her ups and her downs, and this is what she's been doing on social media just of late. You know, life throws curveballs today, and it was a bit yuck. You know, sharing that information with people about her business journey, and, you know, making sure that she's actually talking to the people that are contacting her on social media. You know, she's massive. You know, here, tell her I said to waive the postage for you, you know, because someone said that they had a bad experience, or they got something lost in the post. She's not getting some other person to do it. She's actually doing it herself. And then she shares with us some really, really extreme highs, and how cool it was for her as a person to meet Anna Wintour. You know, she wasn't above the fact that she met Anna Wintour. And that made us celebrate with her. The 3-step model has one thing in common, and it's you. So you need to inject you into your business. Some humor, being really, really authentic, being vulnerable, having a bucket load of passion. You know your product better than anyone else, and no one can take that from you. So therefore, you plus me, because I'm your ideal customer, because I like to buy things, that is what the secret sauce is to increasing sales. But remember, I said, a few slides back, that it's the emotion. You create emotion, not your product, you. And that engages, that excites, and that enchants people. I'm going to share with you another little case study just to bring this all back home, and it's the Zumbo effect. So Adriano Zumbo, he's a pastry chef, and that's what he is. He's a pastry chef, but he has injected humor into what is a bakery product. He's also made his business big business, and he's done that because of the elements of being daring, being dynamic, and being different in what he's done. And he's got a lot at stake, obviously. Now he's got a really big business, he's got a really big brand name because he's built that up over time. And so when he was opening a new store in Melbourne, the traditional way of putting hoarding up is just putting your logo, putting, we're coming soon, best macarons in town, the world's best pastry chef. But no, what he did was put hoarding up that had criticism, hilarious criticism that people took the time to write in Urban Spoon or on Facebook. And didn't this create a buzz? People were taking photos of this. It was creating a sense of humor. Did it impact his sales? Not one little bit. Because he has talent, passion, humor. He's quirky, he's authentic, he injected some emotion, and he stayed in his own lane. He was 100% true to who he is, and he had that belief. So how can anti-marketing amplify your business? What we need to do is let's boil it down to what we need to do to win. You need to have an authentic transformation. You need to have passion. You need to have strategy and structure. And you need to have the right process. Think back to those 3 steps. So anti-marketing, it is the natural last extension of what we're all doing. So we've had all that push marketing, everyone's screaming at us, trying to grab our attention. And with anti-marketing, it's starting to attract our customers to us. And it sets you and your business up as a leader and as a visionary in your market. And you will create a new normal. You'll be more nimble and you'll have an honest, 2-way communication with your customers. Ones that are loyal and they can't wait for your next release. Let's look at some real life results. So I gave you a case study of Kate. I just want to boil that down a little bit more from Uber Kate. So as I said, with implementing this 3-step formula, we increased her turnover to $1.6 million. We increased her retail distribution. People were all the retailers were actually coming to her rather than her having to go out to them. Her online sales went through the roof, which was incredible because that's actually more margin for her. She increased her social media following and her email database, and we didn't have to pay a cent for that. That was just a really easy byproduct of what we were doing. She then got asked to be on the board of Global Sisters, which was something that was on Kate's wish list to do. And, it's a really high echelon of people on that board, and she was asked to do that. And she was featured several times in online and print media, not just for her product placement, but also her personal business and brand story. And that's just a little testimonial here. I won't go through that with you, but working with Kate was such an incredible transformation for her business, and there was very, very little money spent. Very little. It was very low cost, and they were the results that we got. Another brand I want to give you a real life result through is Bella Bodies. Now, Bella Bodies shapewear. Now, shapewear ain't sexy. There's nothing sexy about shapewear. But with Bella Bodies, we stayed in our own lane with what we wanted to achieve, and she went from being only sold on TVSN, so Australian Shopping Channel, to having 3 points of distribution, and which instantly added 10K of revenue for her per month. And that was, again, direct sales. And so the margins were very high. She was able to put new product lines into her range. And that's one there to the right, the Camis collection. And she stopped discounting, because with managing her stock flow, with her distribution, she didn't have overstocked product, so she didn't have to discount. And she's just got back from Europe, so she's just gone and into an international expansion, which, in a competitive market like shapewear, and a very unsexy market like shapewear, for a small little brand in Australia, that's just an amazing feat. And again, another little testimonial, from Michelle here. So let me just reiterate what those 3 steps are again. So being dynamic, be different, be daring, and the bonus is just to be you. This process, when done right, can really yield increased brand awareness and sales. And I've shown that, and I've seen it time and time again. You can relieve the stress and pressure and get back to being creative. But there is a secret ingredient. So all of my clients did already have businesses that were kicking goals. Whether they were accidental entrepreneurs, whether they strategically set out to make some money in their business and to sell their products, they were making money. But what gave them that, extra push was the support and guidance with the strategy and direction, which gave them that extra pinch of belief and courage. And a lot of times, some real tough love when it's needed most. And so that's why, with everyone that's on the call today, I'm wanting to offer a complimentary one-on-one session. And, like I said before, I'm so super, super passionate about making sure that business owners, small, independent, creative, passionate business owners, stay in business. It's just so important to me. Not only because I can spend my money on your products, but just so I can see, the spirit, the entrepreneurial spirit alive, and the creativeness of so many amazing women. So this complimentary strategy session will help you develop and structure your own anti-marketing strategy that will take your business to the next level. It doesn't matter where you're at. Like I've shared with you businesses that were on the brink of closure to a business that was already turning over $800,000. So it doesn't really matter where your business is. An anti-marketing strategy injected into your business will absolutely take you to the next level. So on the call, which is totally complimentary, what we're going to do is nail your approach, because everyone's approach is different, because every person is different, and that's the key there. And what we're going to do is also cover the first steps to get you there. So if you're wanting to amplify your business, regardless of the level that you are currently at, this, I assure you, is going to help you get there. And again, it's free. Why am I doing this? Again, can't tell you how much I am passionate about making sure that people stay in business, but also I'm looking for more success stories that I can help create. And the best way that I can identify the opportunities is by digging in deep one-on-one with you through that session. So if you are wanting to do this, please just log on kirstenbasford.com/connect. I'll put that in the chat box. So you can link through to that. But that's your unique, and it's a really basic page, everyone. I put it up especially just for this webinar. So you'll just see that photo, you'll see, please fill in your details, and that's all you need to do. And that email comes directly into my inbox. So this isn't a public link. So don't expect all prettiness because it's just there. So are you ready to amplify your business? So I just want to say it's not going to cost you anything, just your time. And I'm going to guarantee that you'll come away with at least one action that you can implement to get a real shift in your business. But there's more that I want to give you as well. And this is really exciting for me because we're at the right time of the year to actually start talking about it. Don't hate me, but we've got to talk about your Christmas holiday sales because it's coming up. You need to plan for that now. So if last season wasn't the holiday Christmas sales that you expected, July is the time that every big brand starts their Christmas planning. And if there's something that I want to do with you on this free strategy session call is to make sure that your Christmas sales, you've got that set up. So just think about that. It's a little scary. I think it's around 20 weekends before Christmas. So just letting you know, my coaching programs do include personalized coaching with me, and they do start at around $500 an hour. And I do have a 12-month group mastermind that offers amazing support and inspiration with like-minded business owners. So we've got a whole posse of like-minded business owners that we get together and we really kick some goals. But the session is free. I don't want you to think that you have to pay. This session is free. There's the link again. So we've got around 15 minutes now left for some Q&A. I'm really happy to take any questions should anyone have any. Any questions from anyone? Any comments? Did anyone feel that they got what they wanted on the call today? Is there anything else that you were expecting on the call that you didn't get that I could possibly help you with in these last few minutes? Because I'm here, you got me. So Megan saying, thanks, Kirsten. This session has been a wonderful start to rethinking my strategies with my business. Hey, thank you. You're welcome. Hey, Renee, thank you. Awesome. Hey, Leander, thanks for your feedback there. Hopefully, the sound issue will be okay on the recording, so I'll send that through. Lean startup business, absolutely, Renee. Okay, you're welcome, everyone. Lots of nice messages there. Well, we might wrap it up a little bit before time, but thank you so much for everyone that was on the call today. I've had a real blast sharing this information. And again, if you're interested in a strategy session, just head on over to kirstenbasford.com/connect. And I'd just love to connect with you all. So thanks again and have a great day.